A divine conference call. As a remote worker, I'm no stranger to taking calls from unusual locations. I've answered emails from a crowded coffee shop, taken conference calls from my car, and even responded to urgent messages from a hospital waiting room. But nothing quite compares to the strangest place I've ever taken a conference call from. It was a sunny Tuesday afternoon, and I had a call with a potential client scheduled for 2 p.m. I had been looking forward to this call for weeks, and I wanted to make sure everything was perfect. I had tested my internet connection, charged my laptop, and set up my home office to look as professional as possible. I was ready. But just as the clock struck 2, disaster struck. My neighbor's construction crew began working on their latest project, and the noise was unbearable. I could barely hear myself think, let alone carry on a professional conversation with a potential client. Panic set in. I knew I couldn't reschedule the call. This was my big chance to land a new client. In a moment of desperation, I grabbed my laptop and ran out of my house, hoping to find a quiet spot to take the call. As I jogged down the street, I realized I had no idea where to go. The coffee shop was too loud. The park was too busy. And I didn't want to risk taking the call from my car and losing connection. And that's when I saw it. A small, empty church. The doors were unlocked, and I could see that nobody was inside. I hesitated for a moment, wondering if it was appropriate to take a business call in a holy place. But the clock was ticking, and I had to make a decision. I slipped inside the church and found a small alcove in the back corner. It was quiet, serene, and the perfect place to take a conference call. As I connected to the call, I couldn't help but feel a little guilty for taking the call in such an unconventional location. But as soon as the client began speaking, I knew I had made the right choice. The quiet surroundings helped me focus, and I was able to present myself and my work in the best possible light. Just as the call was wrapping up, I heard a noise behind me. I turned around to see the pastor standing in the doorway, looking confused and a little alarmed. I quickly explained my situation, apologizing for any inconvenience. But to my surprise, the pastor simply smiled and said, "I'm glad we could help." As I left the church and walked back home, I couldn't help but feel grateful for the kindness of strangers. And I knew that no matter where my remote work took me, I would always find a way to make it work. A neural narration story.